Oh, yep, good. I'm doing it. Okay.
That was perfect.
Good.
All right, lads. You're off and running.
No, thank you.
Have fun.
You too. Fucking hate life. All right. Are you ready for some football?
Indeed.
All right, 3, 2, 1, Lego. Hello and welcome to the Supercoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brendan Savage, the coach of the Jamin Salmons. We join you one last time for Team List Tuesday 2023. What a year it has been. I am joined by my co-host, Tim Moody, the coach of Viliami, the 2021 champion. How you going, mate?
Good. We, Supercoach is a marathon, I guess, and we can see the finish line.
We can.
Some of us have pooed our pants along the run, chucked up down our shirts, and are getting carried over the finish line by some friends. Others are storming home.
I agree. We are Carnage. Carnage, to say the least, for this week. I've never seen anything like it in my... I don't know how long I've been playing Supercoach for, since like 2013, 2014, so about 10 years, coming up to 10 years. I've never seen any week like this, and I don't know what to bring it down to. Is it the 27-game round season? It's a long season, and teams are locked in, so they've got the opportunity to rest, and they're resting. I've never seen anything like it, but what's your take on it?
Yeah, it's awkward. It's really awesome. They've sort of Supercoach have identified to knock it back one round for head-to-head finals. So it'd suck if we were dealing with this for all of our head-to-head finals. The overall race is really up in the air now.
It's up for anyone in the top 10. To be honest.
It's probably even outside, potentially. Outside the top 10 could do it, I think.
Yeah, like if you have a full side this week and you're 15th, you've got a real chance. I've actually been chatting to the guy who's in first. We located him. You gave him some words of inspiration the other day. He's feeling the pressure, and Jesus, I would not like to be in that position this time of year, because especially if you're first, you're just waiting to be told you haven't won.
Yeah. Look, we don't like to go the early crow, but I guess we also don't want to do the reverse early crow on him and put a line through him. I'd put a line through old Sam of Wolfpack when I found out he had no trades probably 3
couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and once he dropped off first, I thought it's going to be hard for him to get back there. And then he climbed back. I didn't think he was going to be in first by the end of the round that's just gone. I thought with what he was working with, I thought surely with an 80-point gap, with the different captions, the variances that there were with some, I thought he's going to probably be behind. He's still up there. So, yeah, fingers crossed, for him, he can get it done. He's been up there for a long time, but good luck to everyone that's in the race, and may the best Supercoach win.
It's funny. It kind of feels unfair for the people up there who, if in one round all their hard work all season goes away, but it also rewards the people who have been waiting to strike these last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And have still gotten up there with their tactics, and then still had the foresight to plan for these last 2 weeks. So very interesting. Interesting to see what Supercoach does next year, because it seems like something to spark a bit of interest in case a lot of turnover in that top 20 happens, because it doesn't seem normal, but at the same time,
I guess it kind of is what it is. We're all playing to the same rules as well, so I guess whoever finishes there and is deserving of it.
That's it.
But yeah, very, very stressful for all involved.
It is very stressful. Absolute carnage. We're going to go through all the team lists this week. We don't usually get a chance to do it, but we're in a position today where we can. We're going to have a bit of dribble, talk a lot of shit, and just hopefully provide some entertainment for the last Team List Tuesday of the year. I can't imagine many people are listening to hear our thoughts on how Supercoach-wise things are going to go. But we're just going to make it enjoyable for you guys. So the first game of the week. Oh, how'd you go on the weekend, by the way? Head-to-head grand finals?
Yeah, I only had 2 alive. One was against that bottom 8 comp to get my buy-in back. Smoked that guy. He's got my $300 back.
Oh, nice.
1,205. He had 1,003.
Nice.
It was a weird week though. Also in the Podmaster bottom 8 comp, smoked the ops by about 50 points. not a smoking, but we'll take it. Okay, so lots of duds, few good things. Hopgood 74, great. Hosking 37, been stoked to sort of have him around, but he's been really underwhelming. He's not getting the minutes, which is part of the conundrum there. Chance 89, great. SJ didn't really happen for him. Didn't happen for Dallin either.
Mm-hmm.
That was awkward. Azarko just doing Azarko things. He's been a great thing. What a great thing for Supercoach he's been this year.
Oh, he's been awesome. But now that I think of it, you have Sivo. Did you play him?
That's right. Yeah, no, he was my first.
Oh no, he didn't play him.
First cab off the rank. Didn't play Sivo. Yeah, it sucked. I watched him go over for one try. Got kind of early and was just like, that's probably worth valid playing him over like a Hosking or something like that. And then when he scored the second one, I started to message a few other people, Barnesy from the All-Stars who had Sivo for a bit as well, third try, fourth try, and just started to, try find more profanities that suited the moment, but none of them really aligned to match up with how upset I was by not playing him.
Yeah, you can't pick it. Like Penrith, early injury to Luai. What do you think that does for Penrith with the injury to Luai?
Well, on his socials, I think he's like, I'll be back. So I think he's going to be back by finals.
He's expected to be back preliminary final, which wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah.
But I hope to see him back for the first final. But in that case, Jack Cogger's named at 5'8".
I'd like him to go with Peachy at 5'8". I know they probably won't, but I'd like him to do that.
I think we saw a lot of promise from Jamin Salmon when he played there early in the season. I like Peachy.
They've got options.
I like Peachy as a 14. I don't think Cogger's the guy. I don't think he is.
Big game moments. Look, he's been all right for us, but yeah. It's big shoes to fill.
These big shoes to fill. Myself, I was having a pretty good week actually up until Sunday.
I should say before you continue, I did. I ducked off Manu. I avoided that. So once I found out that Hines was out, I just thought that Ponga seemed a little bit more attractive. I just thought they'd get more of a leg up in that game, and I decided to go with him. So that was lucky. Otherwise, I would have been like an extra 80 points less or something.
Yeah, well, I had the VC on Cleary, and my captaincy was on Tedesco because I had no fullback last week, so I was just playing with a free loop anyway. Or not a free loop because I had a shit AE Ben Murdoch Masilla, but I was playing with effectively a free loop. I wasn't going to loop him. I was going to captain Cameron Munster, and I had my alarm set for 2:55 to captain Cameron Munster on Saturday. And I went to captain him, and I saw Cleary updated to 109, and I'm like, okay, I'll take that. Because
did you end up taking it?
Yeah, I took 109.
Okay.
I took 109. And then I nearly changed from Tedesco to Manu last minute. And I was just like, nah, don't be greedy, mate. Don't be greedy. So it would have turned a bad week into a really bad week. And I was on top of my head-to-head opponent coming into Sunday. He had DCE and Kalen Ponga captain. I had Ramian and Brayley, and we're all even points. And he absolutely smoked me. And it's just the story of my season. Not having Kalen Ponga has just absolutely destroyed me. And I think in the future, it's a learning curve. Like you can't just skip these players. Just get on these players because these players are going to hurt you. Simple
at what point? I remember that he was attractive at some point when he sort of said, oh, I'm not available for Origin, or he didn't get picked for Origin, not everyone jumped on straight away. But once he started proving his worth, what sort of made you want to? Because I think everyone else sort of eventually jumped on. What was it?
But I already had plans. I jumped on Munster the week they played the Knights. Melbourne played the Knights.
Right. You wanted to get Munster that week.
I wanted to get Munster that week, and just my last 3 trades were to make sure I could go Moses back to Cleary or back to Hines.
So I think we had a chat about this, and I reckon that looking back in hindsight, that with that one, I think you kind of addressed that you had already locked into your mind what you were doing, whereas you kind of could have been a little bit more.
You got to be flexible,
fluid,
yeah,
and to see what presents.
I should have just screwed that plan because I was able to go Richie Kenner to Munster, so I was like,
that was part of the reason.
It was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer for me. But
the pros and cons list probably added up for you.
I also think that this is also a season-defining decision I made. That next weekend when Cleary was named to return against the Dolphins and then he pulled out last minute, I traded Jerome Hughes to Cleary. And by the time Cleary was ruled out, Jerome Hughes had already played.
Moses.
Hughes scored, I think, like 60 or 70 against Roosters. And I went Moses, captained him that day, scored 41. And I knew at that point the season's pretty much over. The next week, Jerome Hughes, 154, 109, 70 on the weekend. He's absolutely killed it since then. So had I not forced that trade for Cleary coming in just for the sake of Cleary, I'd probably be in a nice position where I've got Jerome Hughes and Nico Hines in my side. And I possibly could have got Kalen Ponga. It's all hindsight. And I didn't think that decision earlier in the year would have. Anyway, we'll do like a season review. We're doing awards next week. Maybe we can kind of tie it into one, or we do a review session. We'll do a review session maybe. But let's get into the games. This first game, it's a reserve grade game. Honestly,
I'm not really up to speed with it, so I'm sort of learning on.
Yeah, so the Storm versus the Broncos, Pappenhausen, Warbrick, Olam, Tonopapea, Remus Smith, Jaden Nikorima and Wishart in the halves, Bronson Garlic at hooker, Sims and Moroa front row, Chris Lewis and Josh King and Eliasa Katoa, the only guys there who look like they're in the side week in, week out, apart from, Tonopapea, Olam, Pappenhausen. And then the bench, Howarth is named. And Fa'alongo, Alec McDonald and Aaron Penne. And on the other side of the park, Brisbane have rested all their stars. They've got Tristan Saylor at fullback, Josh Rogers at 5'8", Jock Madden in halfback. Also have Piakura starting, which is good for some people, and
myself.
Palacia in at 13, Moser, Pags, Willison and Tapau on the bench. What are your thoughts on this one, Timmy? I was really excited for this game, but it's my daughter's birthday, actually, so probably a good thing that this panned out the way it did.
Yeah, enjoy the party, man. Do some pin the tail on the donkey, all that sort of jazz.
She's not quite there yet.
Yeah, but you just do it anyway. It's still fun. Okay, so I don't know. Look, I think matchup-wise, when we heard there was a bunch of Broncos players out, if we were thinking about jumping on the Storm, they don't look that much stronger. Pappenhausen is a nice thing to have. Well,
the Storm were at $4.50 when we heard this news yesterday. They've come into, I think, like $2.60. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, it could be anything.
Tristan Saylor's pretty handy back there as well.
One thing to note, if Brisbane win this, very high chance Penrith rest all their players because they won't be playing for a minor premiership if that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one to keep an eye on. I don't know it's hard to predict who's going to win this game for sure. Neither of them need to win, so I guess these young fellas are just going to go out there and try impress and take the opportunity and do their best. So, yeah, it's just hard to sort of picture a winner when there's so many different combos and Yeah. But yeah, out of that, I've got myself, Piakura alive, and Harry's Gornsky, Munster's Gornsky for my side, and Howarth really excited if he can
Yeah,
even just play 20 minutes. He's been
that's it.
like big raps on him.
Yep. I'm really excited for. I want Melbourne to win this one because I want Penrith to get the minor premiership, but at the same time, could a rest from Penrith and finishing second, is that better for them premiership wise? Because I would like to see Penrith go on and get a three-peat. I don't want to see Broncos do it. I don't want to see Broncos ruin their party, but actually very impressed with the Broncos and resting, considering they did have this up for grabs, and they could have easily won it. They could have easily named a full-strength side against this side and taken out the minor premiership. It's hats off to them that they're fighting for even bigger glory. But moving on to the 6 p.m. Friday game, poo slinger. I mean, I think these are the type of games you got to target if you do have trades. So Manly pretty much have the same side as last week. Cooler at fullback, Daly Cherry Evans at halfback. I think the games where the teams don't have anything to play for, they're going to play fun footy, throw the ball around, try and do these mad plays, score tries themselves. I think these are the games you really want to target as a Supercoach-wise option if you have trades, and especially captaincy-wise, because like these games of Cowboys and Penrith, they're going to be tight. Whereas these games are going to be free-flowing footy, starting at the daytime at 6 o'clock, kind of. And one thing to note, because this is dead rubber game NRL-wise, they're debuting Belinda Sharp as the referee.
Oh, that's fun.
It's pretty fun. She might blow a penalty
Congratulations.
She might blow a penalty from something that happened 3 weeks ago because she's a woman, but you know, things progression, equality.
No, good on her for getting
The good thing is, she won't be getting paid the same as the men referee, so that's a good thing.
Oh, I'm just not going to touch any of that, I'm just not going to touch it.
I'm kidding. She's the wife of Gavin Badger? So she's obviously got a bit ticker about her, so good luck to her.
Yep, good luck to her.
You'll touch that?
Yep. Yep, so yeah, good luck
You
to her.
seem really uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, we've made it this far. Let's not get cancelled final end around. All right, okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. Play on. Next, okay, so now
And then the Tigers, Tristan Riley and Josh Felaherty in the centres. Matamua at lock. Not a lot happening here. I think this is just going to be a big scoring game. I would say like 34-30.
Yeah, seems like a fun one.
DCE, captain's very honest captaincy choice. Probably a VC, considering everyone's probably got a free loop.
Yeah. VC for sure.
This is probably the game of the round, to be honest. Whoever wins this probably makes the top 8. Roosters versus Rabbitohs. Blake Taff is in. Isaac Thompson on the wing. And
if you do have trades, DCA is probably one of the guys you want to be considering.
He's the one. Rabbitohs look near full strength. Tedesco is back for the Roosters. Joseph Manu named. This is great. I think they're probably just saying you got to play through it because it's do or die.
See what happens if you can. Yeah, if you can take to it. They didn't think it was as bad as what it was at first.
It was a twinge, so I think most of the time they would rest. They would rest him just to make sure there's no
100% any
no
other time.
reoccurrence, injury reoccurrence probability or whatever. But I think the reoccurrence percentage is really high with Manu, but they've just got to do it. Billy Smith is under injury cloud as well, so if they've got both of them out, they're shot in the centres. So they look good there. Fletcher Baker.
This will be a good game. I think this will be the game of the round. To enjoy a good game of footy.
This will be the best quality we see until
a lot on the line.
How do you see it
big
going?
Big rivalry.
How do you see it going, especially Supercoach wise? Obviously, we're a Supercoach podcast. We need to pick out these things. How do you see it going? And
I back the Roosters. Hey, I think just because there's the negative energy around South, no Latrell, is a big factor. The Roosters are on a roll. They've sort of won, I think probably like 4 games straight at least, I think. And yeah, there's a bit of a. I feel like they'll get to the finals and then bow out first round, but
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll
I like them this week, I think.
Yeah, I do too. Sam Walker being back is exciting as well.
But then again, the Bunnies, with all the crap that's going on, they might
They're
sort
kind of backs up against a wall type people.
silence the media, silence the critics by playing some quality footy and getting into the finals. They're both very proud clubs, so they're going to both have a crack. I don't think Bunnies have resigned or anything just yet.
That's it. Moving on to the 3:00 Saturday game, Dolphins versus the Warriors. This was something I was not expecting to see. So the Dolphins pretty much 1-17. They got Max Platt there at number 16, Harrison Graham at starting hooker. But we did mention it the last few weeks that there could potentially be restings for the Warriors because they're going back. The game's at Queensland. And why would they go back to Queensland when they got a finals game next week? They've gone all out on their restings here. Tuapiki at fullback instead of Chance. Edward Kosey on the right wing instead of Dallin. Tamari Martin is back. Ronald Volkman is halfback, so no SJ. No AFB, no Tohu Harris. Jackson Ford is on the bench. Rejoice for Braden Williami owners. He played round 1 for a lot of people who own him. If you still got him, he's going to play the last round as well. So they're 2 very important numbers for you. I'm so shocked. But I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I've
for
lost my 4 players. I've got Tohu, SJ, Dallin,
Chance.
Yeah, that's fun.
The Dolphins win this.
Yeah. So I'm not going to have a punt this weekend. I'm just staying away from it.
Real weird, eh?
It's too wacky. Wait till the finals if you want.
You've got to speak more than that. You've got to have some conversation. This is a podcast.
Yeah. What do you mean?
You can't just be like, "Yeah, I'm not having a punt this week."
Yeah, I'm just making.
I agree. I can't. I'm honestly
I can't pick winners. I'm not confident to sort of. Yeah, pick winners here. I do think the Dolphins at home, they've got it's their last game of the year. You know what I mean? They probably want to cap this season off.
That's it. Penrith versus the Cowboys. This could be a minor premiership game, and for the Cowboys, they need to win to get into the 8. So this is probably one of the other games that there's a lot riding on it. There is another game later in the round, which is pretty important as well. Nathan Cleary is named at the moment. Jack Hogger, as we said at the start of the show, is in. Scott Sorensen back. Luke Summerton, hooker. Sonny Luke's still on the bench. It's not a bad thing. I don't think Summerton gets many minutes. Luke's been playing a few minutes in the last few weeks as well. I'm just reserved judgment for this one until we see the result of the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
Because if the Broncos win that, I think this game looks a lot different, and the likes of Eisenhuth, Garner, Jenkins, Salmon come in for a lot of these guys.
Yeah. I think you're on the mark with that one for sure.
Yep. But if it's not the case, Penrith, you've locked in the minor premiership, in my opinion.
Yep.
But Cowboys have a lot to play for, and the Parramatta shook them up last week. Could it happen again?
Yeah. I won't mention my conspiracy. I had a conspiracy theory idea.
Yeah.
I was like, well, imagine if Cowboys just went, hey, look, here's 200 grand, Panthers. You don't need a minor premiership. We'll just win and we'll just get into the finals. You know what I mean? Cheeky under the table. These things probably
That's match fixing
don't exist.
hard.
Yeah, that don't happen. But I was just like, I just thought, because who would miss out? It'd be one of if they get in.
If they get in,
It's hard to predict here.
no, I think Canberra move out if they don't win.
Or South if they.
But if they win and Canberra win, I'm pretty sure it's hold on, let me have a look. I've got the ladder right here. So if the Cowboys win,
Mm-hmm.
then they're at 32. And the Raiders win, then they're at 34. See, if the Cowboys win, they need the Roosters to beat the Rabbitohs in order for them to make that 8. But if the Rabbitohs win, the Cowboys just aren't in. So they could win and still not make it.
Yep. Depending on other results.
Yeah,
okay.
that's it. And you don't want to be in that position, to be honest.
No, not
because you got to be relying on yourself. But all they can do is win. And so the next, fuck, this is a shit, isn't
drag.
it? It's a real drag this episode.
But I guess we just want to go through our numbers, work out how many we got, and go from there.
That's it. The Knights, Lockie Miller is back at fullback. I think he's one I'd be very interested in buying if I had trades this week. I assume he'll goal kick, playing fullback. It's probably his
Last game in the NRL.
last game in the NRL by the looks of it. I like him. Marju's named, which is good, and the other side of the field, not much going on there. Bulldogs and Titans, both full strength. Hayes Perham at fullback, so Jake Averillo is in the centres. Weird. Fafita, yeah, this is a drag. This is a mad drag.
Just trying to count numbers. Well, let's go through numbers.
Yeah, let's go through our numbers. This is actually, I do want to touch on the Sharks-Canberra game, 4 o'clock Sunday.
Get a call from Elbs.
4 o'clock Sunday. This game actually means something. So Hines is named, and both sides are full strength. Corey Horsburgh was named.
We was fighting
He's fighting it, so they're probably hoping he.
Well, I was watching it back, and I didn't even really notice it in the game. Hey, and then we're watching it back, it kind of just looked like a good shot. Hey, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens, but I hope the Sharks get some momentum and win this one. And yeah, I'd love to see any team outside the 8, like the Roosters, Rabbitohs or Cowboys, go in over the Raiders, because I feel like these teams have more of a chance of shaking up the competition. I don't think the Raiders have much in them to give.
They've been good though, and they've done quite well to sort of get where they are.
Yeah, no, they actually have. So let's look at our numbers, guys, and what numbers are you kind of playing with this week, Timmy?
So I got Sony, Luke off the bench, 1, 2, 3. Hosking off the bench, 4. Howarth off the bench, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 12, but 3 of them are coming off the bench.
I have 16. That's very
nice.
But that's including Ben Murdoch-Masila. Jackson Ford, who's coming off the bench. And I'm playing Ben Trebojevic.
The numbers are going to be so varied this week. There's going to be people with as low as 6. There'll be some blokes that have, got full squads and a couple extra reserves to pick from.
I've got 15. Oh,
Very
wait.
interesting
No,
week.
Horsburgh's named. So, I mean, I've got 16 including Horsburgh, but I don't expect him to play. Jesus. I'd hate to be in that top spot, eh?
Yeah. Nerve-wracking.
It'd be very stressful.
But if he gets it done, Jesus is going to feel good.
It will feel good. Timmy, what is your favourite option? What are your trades this week?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. I'll have to leave it in the chat later in the week. Let me think about it.
Nah,
No
if you had trades, who would you be trading in this week?
Yeah, well, I'd definitely be getting DCE in for SJ.
Yeah, 100%.
And outside of that, maybe Pappy.
I like Pappy.
Yeah, I'd get Pappy.
I think he had some strong runs.
Just for fun,
He had the strong runs on the weekend, and I think against that Broncos side, his lowest score against Broncos is 96. Now, we can't take that as gospel. He's come off a really long injury, and just be happy to see him play 80 minutes, but it could be goal kicking, playing 80 minutes.
I reckon he will be goal kicking if Meany's not there.
Yeah, Meany's not there. So I'd really love to get him in if that was the case. I think Lockie Miller is also another one who I'd be very interested in. But apart from them guys,
It's like a winger. Like there's been like wingers getting 4 tries each week. You just got to pick who that guy is. There's going to be the 4-try guy.
yeah.
This year it's going to be. I reckon there'd be. If you dig around for ages and
Jason
find a few
Saab?
different options, I reckon nearly any of them could score 4 tries this weekend.
Saab, Cooler. What are your thoughts on Cooler?
He was great last week. I wouldn't mind him as well. But I think I'd prefer a winger. Like if I was going to get DCE, I think I'd prefer a winger somewhere else. Another game.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting.
Maybe like the Titans game versus Dogs or something like that. Like Carm Pereira. Is he there?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, someone like that.
Yeah, I like
I'd
that
go
actually.
Carm Pereira.
I think Carm Pereira. You're very on the money there. Who's your captain?
Out of what I've got left of the boys, I'm going to go maybe Nath. But then he might get rested if we're ahead. And then I guess assuming he plays.
I think I'm going to do something.
I didn't get that.
I think I'm going to do something a bit crazy this week.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I might VC Ben Trebojevic, which is crazy. Oh, he probably doesn't have the
That's
ceiling.
crap, man. Why you want to do that for?
Probably doesn't have the ceiling, to be honest. But
It's Mimi. Like, if he goes off, it'd be fun. Fafita is...
yeah, I think Fafita's a very good
I'd
option
stay away from Manu with the...
with the injury. Even
yeah,
I'm just trying
maybe
to.
it's Zarko.
I don't want to be captaining anyone who's in a game that has something on the line, because especially like the Cleary one,
Yeah.
I definitely see them if they have gotten up.
More gritty.
They're not gonna smash them. Penrith are not gonna smash the Cowboys. The Cowboys want to win this one, so I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I might go with Zarko as a captain against the Warriors.
I like it. So he's running at Montoya, who most of the season he's been
They're
pretty
thin, the
pretty
Warriors.
leaky on that edge.
Yep.
Interesting. All right, Timmy, I got a little game for you.
All right.
Blind rankings.
Okay.
Blind rankings. Okay. So you've got to rank these players from 1 to 5. And then that's all you got to do.
Yeah, I know the rules. I'm a professional at blind rankings now.
You know the rules. Okay, so Robbie O'Davis.
Robbie O. 5.
Anthony Minicello.
The count. 3.
Reese Wesser.
I want to put him ahead of Anthony, but I can't. So 4.
Blake Taff.
4. Are you making these up on the spot just trying to scare me?
I'm not.
All right, Blake Taff, number 2. He's got a gone career ahead of him, and I reckon Blake Taff could be anything. See what happens.
And number 1 is...
You're making these up on the spot, bro.
And number 1 is Jalen Feeney.
No, it's not.
Number 1 is Brett Stewart.
Yeah. But sure.
Number 1.
Yeah. Happy days.
So you've gone Brett Stewart, Blake Taff,
Taff,
Reese Wesser. Who's the other guy?
Robbio at 5.
Robbie O'Davis 5.
The Count,
The
Minicello.
Count at 4.
3. No, 3.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So number 3. So number 1. Nice. Oh, I just wanted to say that again because we didn't say
The
it back
snake.
clearly. The snake. All right. You got one for me?
Blind rankings?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll just make it up on the spot, and I might stitch you up too.
Okay.
All right, cool. Random player. Okay. Trying to think of his body. Preston Campbell. I was trying to go Campbell. Was his first name? Preston Campbell.
3.
Okay. Tim Brasher.
5.
He was one of my favourites growing up, partly to do with the fact that his name was Tim. But
Honestly, don't know who it is, so I've just put him 5.
fullback for the old Tigers.
Yep.
Okay. Next player, Kirk Higley.
2.
Okay. Nathan Blacklock.
1. 4.
Yeah, okay. No, you said 1, bro. You have to deal with that and let people drill you on that. And one more. The weak gutted dog.
Number 1, easily.
He's
Easily.
number 1.
I'm happy with that list, bro. You can tell things are getting grim here.
Yeah.
Like, what do we talk about? Supercoach year. How can you define this Supercoach year? Let's talk a bit about the ceiling of players, because I was thinking about it today. Nico Hines was the highest scorer this year with 180 in a single game. Apart from that, there's been some 160s,
150s.
but they've been like Jordan Rapana,
Yeah.
Sevo on the weekend with 154. There hasn't been that many massive ceiling games. What would you put that down to? And do you
The
think,
competition being a lot tighter,
yeah,
maybe, because it's harder to identify that smashing match. You go, oh,
yeah,
that'll be a smashing. And a lot of the time this year we've gone, oh, this team's now better than they were last year.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. This team's no good now. Like the
Yeah.
Cowboys at the start of the year, no good.
yeah.
These sorts of things. So I think it's maybe trying to...
And the team hasn't gone for too long without being shit, if that makes sense. Like a team has started off badly, like the Cowboys, but they've kind of regrouped.
Yeah.
And same with St. George at the start of the year when Nico put 180 on them. I think since, even before then and since then,
Since they sacked their coach, they've probably...
they've
been
been okay.
alright.
They've been okay,
Yeah.
defensively. I think it is definitely. I did say it at the start of the year, I think it's going to be a lot closer. There's going to be less scores, but I honestly thought we'd see a lot more big ceiling scores this year, and we just didn't see them. And I think with tactically, Supercoach wise, a lot of people are chasing that massive ceiling when I think most of the time we just got to be content with that 100 to 120 score as captain.
Yeah, true. I think 100... the 2021 season's kind of tainted us all.
For
you know what I
sure.
mean? It's made us real hungry for that real big upside because 200s were available almost every week with Turbo, and you could go Cleary and get 200s. And
Well, when you think of it, Turbo scored 170, 180, and then 229. He scored a 200. Garrick scored a 200. Cleary scored a 225 and a 190. I'm pretty sure Hines scored a 185 as well. There was that many players getting massive scores. And I think for a lot of people, it's probably the worst part of them dealing with Supercoach this season because you're constantly chasing that. And
I haven't been able to nail captains all year, and I feel like all my captains have been kind of okay-ish. They've been that 70 guy, you know what I mean? And that's not fun.
Ponga got one, was it 160 or 180
When?
against the Bulldogs?
Early in the year?
Yeah.
Oh, a couple of weeks ago or whatever?
Yeah. Against the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just researching that. So he's 973. How shit is Ponga? Didn't even make his break even on the weekend. He got 180. So him and Nico share the biggest scores. But since then, Jesus, on a tear. 137 after that, 96, 122, 121, 77, 91, and 128. Ponga, I knew he had this in him, but Jesus Christ, what a weapon.
Yeah, it's weird. Hey, I think a part of it's got to do with having a young kid coming up chirping to take his spot, and not getting selected for Origin. I reckon that'd really sort of...
He wanted to play 5'8" at the start of the season, But I think ever since Hastings has come in and done such a good job, he doesn't feel like he needs to do everything anymore. Like he can just play footy, which is for a long time they've been searching for that, and he's able to do it now. So before we go, who's your grand final? What's the grand final? How does the series look out?
The
Okay.
most exciting grand final is what everyone's sort of hoping for or thinking will happen. Will be on form, 1 and 2 sides, Panthers and Brisbane.
Do you think so?
I think that'd be a great grand final.
I feel like
it'll be fun, but it's probably like the chances are it'll be something else.
I think it could be Melbourne and Penrith. I like Melbourne. But if they have a forward...
Not disrespecting Melbourne because they're, solid outfit that's been for a long time and, they've lost quite a few players over the last several years.
Yeah.
They've still got a few guns there, but there's other teams that I'm sort of more, as a Penrith fan, sort of like worried about Brisbane first and foremost. A little bit the Wars, just the hype and energy around them.
The Broncos have such a complete team. Like when you look at it from 1 to 17.
The names, like you just go through their names.
Haas, Carrigan.
Yeah.
So let's do a live ladder predictor, and we'll see how it turns out. So Broncos and Storm, who's winning this week?
See, I can't pick these. This is going to be hard, but we'll have a go at it.
I'm going to go with the Storm.
We're going to say Storm because of Pappenhausen factor.
Storm, Manly and Tigers. Manly.
Yep.
Rabbitohs and Roosters.
Roosters.
Dolphins and Warriors.
Dolphins.
We'll go the Dolphins this week. Panthers versus Cowboys.
Do you know what? The Warriors could still beat the Dolphins. We'll go the Dolphins, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Warriors and Cowboys. Panthers and Cowboys.
Panthers.
Yep. Dragons and Knights.
Do you know what, though? Penrith could be just pretty much throw it. As soon as Brisbane win, we almost...
Dragons and Knights.
Dragons and Knights.
Titans and Bulldogs. Titans.
Yeah.
Sharks and Raiders.
Sharks.
Very nice. So that takes us...
That's a tough one to pick, though, too.
Yeah, so that takes us... If that all happens, Penrith first, Broncos second, Storm third, Warriors fourth, Knights fifth, Sharks sixth, Roosters seventh, and Raiders eighth. So let's go into the first lot of finals. Panthers will play the Warriors. First, fourth. Who have you got?
Penrith.
Knights versus the Raiders. Knights. Sharks versus the Roosters.
I said the Roosters would bow out first one, so it's a bit, I'm going to go Sharks. But I think if they've bowed out for...
I think the Roosters could win this one if they've got full strength.
I'm happy to go Roosters.
Roosters?
If you want to take that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Roosters. Broncos and Storm. Again. Broncos. They'll be full strength. So, all right, that takes us to finals week 2. Warriors versus the Knights.
Warriors.
I think...
I could be emotional here. Like, they're my second team now. Like
the Wars.
Yeah, hard. I think they're everyone's.
Storm versus the Roosters.
Storm versus the Roosters. Storm.
I would go Storm here. And then that takes us to the preliminary finals. Panthers versus the Storm.
Panthers.
And the Broncos versus the Warriors.
So that's it. Okay, wow. That's fun. We'll... Up the Wars. Get them in there. Get them in the grand final.
You go the Wars?
Do you know what? I'd prefer to lose to the Wars than to Brisbane. I'd be happy for the yeah.
I'm going to put in...
The Broncos probably.
If Kalen Ponga and Hastings are fit, the Knights beat the Warriors in the second week, in my opinion. And then the Knights play the Broncos the week after in the preliminary finals. I think that's a very tight one. I think the Knights could get up there.
You're an ex-Knight, so you're being a little bit of a...
No, I'm not. I just think
we're being a little bit biased here too.
They're the informed team in the competition at the moment. The Knights. No doubt about it. It just depends on when Ponga returns, if Hastings is fit. But the Knights, they just lost to Brisbane earlier in the season when the Brisbane were humming and Knights were still kind of figuring out their style of play. I think it could be a lot closer this time.
I reckon someone's going to smash Kalen, just smash him.
And he's going to go off for a HIA finally in this non-Supercoach season.
Yeah, I just think that's their only weapon,
think
you know. That's
it just seems like looking at the head-to-head matchups every week, it just always leads to Panthers Broncos. Don't you think? And
they are both standout.
But that's based on Rabbitohs missing the 8. If the Rabbitohs are in that,
could change the shape of a lot of things.
Do you think that changes?
Oh, massively.
All right, let's go back. Let's say the Rabbitohs win
this weekend.
The Rabbitohs win. That puts. What else do we need to? I want the Cowboys to get in. How do we get the Cowboys in?
Well, if Penrith accept that $200,000 payoff deal that we were talking about before, that's how we can get them.
All right, let's say that happens. Cowboys win. The ladder looks like this. Broncos first, Panthers second, Storm third.
Don't like it already.
Warriors fourth. Knights, Sharks, Rabbitohs, Cowboys. So, Broncos versus Warriors is the first game. You go the Broncos?
Yeah.
Knights versus Cowboys.
Knights.
Rabbitohs versus Sharks.
Rabbitohs. Yeah, so once the Rabbitohs get in here, yeah.
Panthers versus Storm in the first week. I guess you're saying Panthers because you said them in the preliminaries. Knights versus Warriors. You went the Wars. Storm versus Rabbits.
That's a great game, hey.
That changes everything, to be honest. For the fun of it, Rabbitohs. Preliminaries look like this. Broncos versus Rabbitohs.
Oh, that's another really
That's such a good game. And then Panthers versus Warriors.
See, if the finals go the way we've gone this way, if the Bunnies can get their way in, I reckon that's the way that the finals get way more
interesting,
more competitive. Yeah. Interesting.
You like it?
I like that, but I don't like not getting the minor premiership, even though I prefer just to win the grand final. That's all that really matters. But I didn't like the sound.
Okay, well, if you don't want the minor premiership, we can go back to round 27.
No. This is way too choose your own adventure.
Well, we're just going through every single scenario that we can think of. That changes from Panthers to Warriors, and then Broncos to Storm again. And then the second week, Warriors, Knights, Storm, Rabbitohs. We said the Rabbitohs. And then Panthers, Rabbitohs preliminary. That changes it too. I'd prefer to see the Broncos play the Rabbitohs.
I would too. I feel like I don't want to play.
I don't want Penrith playing the Rabbitohs in the preliminary.
Yeah.
I want to see it that way. So the Penrith get into the grand final, and they play whoever wins that game.
Yep. Let's go the three-peat.
They need to rest their players because that's the only way that happens.
Well, I'm really excited about the finals. I'm excited to put my feet up, not worry about checking the app to look at any points.
And you know what? After this week,
quality footy.
Even this week, we don't have to worry.
Oh, of course, exactly. Yep.
Feet up.
The only thing that does suck though about finals is it's a great. Like the footy's so much better, but there's so many less games.
Yeah, like 3 o'clock Saturday. There's nothing.
Yeah, or you know what I mean? Yeah, there's just one game, and you're like,
I look forward to coming home on Friday and having a few drinks, and then rolling into the 6 o'clock game. That's my favorite time of the week. Okay. I think that'll pretty much do for the episode.
Yeah, we'll have our awards next week.
We'll have the awards. We'll dress up in suit and tie.
Yeah, we'll probably do a red carpet thing or something. See if DM can sort of have like just a little thing running here.
We will do that, and we'll also hopefully get Mikey or Jake on. Hads is very busy at the moment, so we've got to go without him. He's had a cracking season. He's still at 400th.
Shout out to the bloke.
And you know what that comes down to? He bit the bullet. He bit the bullet and bought Ponga for over $1 million.
I was not why he's done lots of things. There's a lot of things that contribute to it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do that next week, and then maybe the following week we'll do season review or something. But maybe Supercoach will be just a far distant memory in our head.
We'll assess.
We'll assess how we're feeling. But nonetheless, we'll be in the studio at some point after next week. But whether we have a break after that or not, we'll decide. I might get into my interviews series straight away, or who knows.
Should see if we can get an interview with Cam, the Dreamboat.
Cam should come in here for an episode.
Yeah. We should have got him on tonight and just asked him about his head-to-head final.
Oh, he won his family league.
Yeah.
And we guided his way to glory. Sailed
his dreamboat, we should say.
One question before we go. Would you punch a baby in the face or a dog in the face for money?
Now, I've had all week to think about this, and I need to know whose baby and what type of... I'm not just kidding. I would never do anything like that. I'd pat the baby and... I'd pat the dog and kiss the baby like a politician.
$11,000 right now.
No, man.
12.
Sheesh.
50.
Get out of it.
50.
No, don't.
We'll see you next week.